What's up, YouTube? It's Coach Cory, and today we're going to talk about teaming in Showdown. Is this the end of teaming in Showdown? Is there a potential solution? Have we found a way to stop one of the most annoying things in the game? If you haven't heard of hashtag stop the spin, well, there's been a lot of videos today and content on Reddit where there are other content creators, and even in-game there's a lot of bands who are putting up hashtag stop the spin. They're putting out announcements in Discord servers about this movement going on in Brawl Stars. So I want to talk about what this movement is it going to work, what you can do to support the movement, and why I haven't pledged, and what I want you guys to do, and just give your comments and opinions as well below. So first off, there's a movement that has been started by Kairos Time, and he's gotten a lot of different creators and bands on board, so props to him for organizing this and putting this all together. What the movement is called hashtag stop the spin. The idea, of course, is to stop teaming in Showdown, stop spinning in Showdown, right? Teaming is definitely one of the most annoying things in Showdown. I asked you guys how often you see teaming. About over 40% of you said you see it every single match in Showdown. And a little bit over 30% said you see it almost every match in Showdown. So you got about almost 3/4 of the people seeing teaming in Showdown almost every single game in Showdown. And there was a poll that Kairos did asking where would you like solo Showdown more if there wasn't teaming, and about 80% of people said that they would. Now obviously we might have a little bit different audiences. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that seems like a pretty significant poll. So with all that in mind, Kairos wanted to put together a movement, try and create something where we can stop teaming in Showdown, or at the least improve the situation. So first of all, how it works, well, the idea is what you do is you make a pledge that you're going to not team in Showdown, and this is supposed to be a way to hold you accountable. But of course, no one's probably really going to hold you accountable. You sort of have to hold yourself accountable. But the idea is to either pledge, like say in the comment of this video, or in the link to the Reddit post that's on the front page of Reddit, or in any of the other creator videos, you pledge, I'm not going to team anymore in Showdown. And the idea is to get as many people as possible to do that. That way, when you go in solo Showdown, there's less teaming, or hopefully no teaming at all. But will that work? Is that going to work? Is this going to stop teaming in Showdown? Is it going to lessen teaming in Showdown? Well, there are a lot of creators on board with this. There's a lot of different people. If you look at the list of creators that Kairos has, it's over 20 different creators. And potentially there's supposed to be some sort of thing coming from the in-game tab, or something from the Brawl Stars dev team. Maybe not supporting the movement, but spreading the word or starting to create a discussion. So it's potential a lot of people could see this movement. Now, will it have an impact though? In short, I don't think it's going to have a big impact. I think the place where it could have an impact is in the areas of the game where there's not that much teaming. I think it could make it happen at a later stage of the game, but if 40% of people see teaming in every single match, what are those people going to do? If they stop teaming, are they okay with getting 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, the majority of the time they play solo Showdown? If you're okay with losing trophies, then I think you have no problem probably supporting this. If you're okay with not playing solo Showdown, there's probably a lot of people who don't play solo Showdown because of the teaming and are going to make this pledge, which is great that they're going to be supporting it. But of course, the people who play solo Showdown, those are the people who need to pledge for it to be impactful. If you don't play and you pledge, that's fine, that's great, you support the movement. But if you play solo Showdown and you don't pledge, now this isn't supposed to be a peer pressure thing, you should play how you want to play. What I don't want to see happen, this is the one thing I'm afraid of with this movement. What I don't want to see happen is people being toxic, people bullying other people who do team in solo Showdown. Because yes, a lot of people really hate the teaming in Showdown. It honestly creates a bit of a toxic environment. It's a very nasty thing. If you die to a team in solo Showdown, it's a very frustrating way to lose, right? Very unfair. Everyone hates that. No one likes losing in an unfair way. But what I don't want to see happen is people bully or be toxic towards people who don't pledge or who do team in Solo Showdown, because I can understand why people team, right? I mean, there's a reason it started in the first place. It's people don't like losing trophies, and if you have to do it to play the game and to not be destroyed and not be really, really not liking the game, then you know what? That's how you play. If that's how you want to play the game, that's up to you. It's a game. You should play it how you like. It's just for fun. There's no real need to be super try-hard in every single way of the game. You should play it how you want to play. So if there are people who don't want to go through that really negative experience of just constantly losing trophies because they're not on teams and they're constantly fighting against teams, now of course this will depend on your trophy level, but you know what? They shouldn't be getting any hate for that. And this sort of goes to why I haven't pledged. I definitely really hate teaming, but I don't understand how I'm going to be able to pledge and say I'm never going to team again and gain any possible trophies. If you guys are okay with me not making any more Solo Showdown videos, now currently I've been making a lot of duo. Part of the reason I don't make a lot of Solo Showdown videos is because of the teaming. But my trophies are too high on both my main, where every single brawler is above 500, and my mini, where now half of my brawlers are above 500, where I can't really play Solo Showdown without teaming because there's just too much teaming, and if I don't team, I'm going to get 10th, 9th, 6th, 7th. I mean, the only way probably I'm going to be able to not do that is if I play a brawler who's really mobile and can just escape constantly, like Mortis. I could maybe get away with not teaming with Mortis, maybe not easily, but to some degree. Crow, potentially, because he's also pretty mobile. Otherwise, what happens in really high trophy games is people just don't die for a really long time, and even if you are able to hide for a long time, there's still going to be 10, 8, 9 brawlers left, you know, with the poison closing in and the map getting somewhat small, and then you're stuck by yourself and there's a team of 7 or 8, or maybe 2 teams of 4 or 3 that you have to contend with. And of course, as a team, the team mentality is to hunt for the people on the outside and to hunt for the people who aren't on a team. That is always team mentality in Solo Showdown. So if you don't team, that's what you have to contend with. So if you guys put down below, should I stop making Solo Showdown videos and pledge to not team again? Because that's basically what my choice is. Or I don't pledge and I'm still able to make Solo Showdown videos for you all. So I want to leave that up to you. I'll do whatever the majority of you prefer. If most of you are saying, Corey, it's okay, you know what, stop teaming, go with the pledge, let's try and make something happen here, even if it means you can never make Solo Showdown videos again. That's likely what the case is. Or you can be like, Corey, you know what, we would prefer you to still be able to make Solo Showdown videos. I want to leave that up to you all. I'll do whatever you prefer. In reality, though, I don't think this movement, not to be negative, is really going to stop teaming. And I think a lot of people, probably all the creators, probably agree with that. They realize, you know, obviously there's just too much teaming. It's too difficult to stop it with one thing. In reality, the real way, if we want to stop teaming in any sort of way in Solo Showdown, it has to be some sort of in-game changes. There has to be something in-game that makes it more difficult to team, less incentive to team, something like that. It has to come from Supercell's side. So let me know what you think could happen. I'm going to give you guys some ideas on ways we could stop teaming from an in-game perspective from Supercell's side. But I also want to hear what you think as well, and just on the movement. I think one of the main ways, one of the biggest ways to potentially stop or maybe make it less incentive to team, I mean, one of the big reasons people team is if you get 10th, you get that big fat -7 trophies. Okay, there's no other game mode where you can get a -7 except for Solo Showdown. And, well, okay, that's not entirely true. If you're high enough trophies, you will get -7. But for most people, at low trophy levels, there's no other way to get a -7. And even in, you know, you get 9th, -6, 8th, -5, there's still a really big trophy loss at the bottom of Solo Showdown. So there's a big incentive to do something to not get that really horrible place. So what you see at the start of games is that first opponent you encounter, first 2 opponents you encounter, you team with them, because otherwise you have to get in a fight. And a lot of times if you're getting in a fight early on in the game, you could potentially, there's a big risk of getting that -7, -6, -5 early on in games in Solo Showdown. So one way we could lessen that is to change the trophy gain loss in Solo Showdown. Make it less negative for getting last place, 9th place, 8th place, whatever it is. Maybe make the worst case scenario be a -5 or a -4, something like that, where you're still losing trophies, but it's not quite as punishing. Now, obviously, you would probably have to change the potential trophy gain as well. First place on the other side of the coin wouldn't be able to be that same +6, +7 that it was before. It's going to have to go down as well to match that trophy gain loss from before. But this could be a way to make it a little bit less risky, to make that early strong push, to make that early fight. Now, you still obviously don't want to lose trophies, so it's probably not going to solve it. But maybe it makes it a little bit less of an incentive to do so as often early on. There are other potential ways too, right? You could maybe do some sort of ticking timer, something where if you're next to someone, if someone's within 3 tiles of you for so many seconds, you both start getting health decay. Something like that, where you both start losing health. And what this would do is, if you're teaming together, if you're in a big team, you're all going to start losing health because you're all just next to each other for a certain amount of time. And, you know, if people start losing health, they might start betraying each other, or there's other things that could start happening. Or at the least, they're going to have to start being a little bit further apart, which is another way to force people to engage with another group. A lot of times there's 2 teams, and this would allow the other teams to kill each other a little bit easier, make it less strong, less of a strong thing to be on a team. Now, there's another potential idea, which a lot of people have actually suggested either on Reddit or in different places, which is adding a reward for killing people in solo showdown. And this is going to obviously incentivize you to get more kills. So if you're on a team or something, you might be more incentivized to betray someone, or just more incentivized to not team at all and just try and get that kill. But what would the incentive be? I think there's a couple different ways you could do it. Some people have suggested making solo showdown just based on kills. Your trophy gain just based on kills. However many kills you get is, you know, whoever gets the most kills gets, obviously, the most amount of trophies. If you get the least amount of kills, the least amount of trophies. Or just staying alive as well. I'm not quite sure how that would work. But one other way you could do it is by adding an extra elixir drop for every kill. So potentially just adding every person that dies, add an extra elixir to be dropped. So this way, the more kills you get, the stronger you're going to get as a brawler, and you're gonna have an even better advantage. That's really gonna incentivize, all right, I get this kill, I'm gonna now have a lot of elixir, and I'm gonna be a lot stronger and have a better chance of winning the whole showdown match. That could potentially happen if you can make it so even if you get, you know, kill a 1 elixir person, 2 elixir drops, just add 1 extra elixir for every single tier of kill. I think that would be a really good way to make people just more kills happen in solo showdown. It's going to make faster matches too. To be honest, it's going to make it so towards the end of the game, there's probably less people alive than there are now. A lot of times you get, if you're in a higher trophy level showdown, you get towards the end of the game, there's over, you know, half a dozen people alive. And this could be, I think this is probably the best way to fix some sort of teaming situation in solo showdowns by adding more elixir. Give more incentive to get those kills. I think that's the best way to fix this potentially. But in reality, I'm a bit skeptical about how well this movement is going to work. I think it's a great start. I think it's a good way to at least try something, and I can't blame people for trying. It's better to try it than not try it. Who knows what would happen if we did it? Who knows what will happen now that it's started? Maybe we'll see a change in solo showdown. I think the best place that there potentially could be a change in solo showdown is if you're around 250 trophies, around 300 trophies or lower. I do think this could have an impact on how much team you're going to see in solo showdown. The rest of it, I really don't think it will have a lasting impact at all. And the reason is, if you're not gaining trophies, it's not going to last. If you're not teaming, well, there's going to be people who do team. And another way of thinking about it is those who team currently and keep teaming, they actually have a stronger advantage now than they did before because they have less teams to contend with. You have more solo brawlers to contend with. That's easier kills for you as a team, and you're going to get more elixir, and you're going to be stronger. Now, you also have maybe more people to fight. Potentially, it's another way of putting it, but you also don't have another team to fight. So, I don't know. There's definitely some give and take. If you're doing it without teaming, if you're not gaining trophies, you're probably not going to keep doing it because you play solo showdown either probably to gain keys or to gain trophies. And if you're only getting keys, you're probably not going to play it that much, and you're probably not going to play it for that long. So in that case, it might not last. But I do think it could have an effect in places where there's not that much teaming, where if you can make it to those places where there's only a little bit of teaming, make it happen even a little bit less, that could potentially have a real impact. I think that could potentially have a change. Oh yeah, and you might be wondering why there's duo Showdown gameplay, not solo Showdown gameplay. That's because, yeah, I don't want to make that pledge quite yet until I know what you guys think about whether I should stop teaming or not. Because if I were to have my gameplay be on solo Showdown, it would involve a lot of teaming. So I didn't want to have a gameplay with a lot of teaming on a video about stopping teaming. So that's why it's duo Showdown gameplay. But alright, I wanted to start a discussion, and guys, let me know what you think. Are you gonna pledge to stop teaming? Should I pledge to stop teaming in solo Showdown? But alright, that's gonna be it. Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.